In this video, I will explain a logical fallacy known as the false analogy. I'll begin with a general explanation and follow with some examples. The false analogy or weak analogy is a type of logical fallacy that uses an analogy to lead to a conclusion. It normally begins with something familiar, introduces something unfamiliar, and forms a conclusion by linking the two. The general form is as follows. X has property A. X and Y are similar, therefore Y has property A. The analogy here is the second premise, that X and Y are similar or analogous, which means that both X and Y share some properties that are common to both, but they also have some properties that exist only in one and not the other. The syllogism shown here is not necessarily invalid or fallacious. It really depends on the specific example and, crucially, whether the analogy is strong enough and relevant to the conclusion. A weak analogy might occur when X and Y have very little in common with each other. Let's look at a few examples of this. The first example concerns helmets. Astronauts wear helmets and fly in spaceships. Roman centurions wore helmets. Therefore, Roman centurions fly spaceships. I think it is safe to say that outside of science fiction, Roman centurions did not fly spaceships. The analogy here is weak. Yes, both astronauts and centurions have helmets. They are also both human. But there is also much that is dissimilar. Their training, technology, and knowledge, for example. Crucially, although both wore helmets, the purpose of the helmet is different. The astronaut wears it so that they can breathe in space. The centurion wears it to protect their head from enemy weapons. The next example concerns animals. Cows have live births and produce milk. Just like humans, they get pregnant and sometime later give birth to a live offspring. Dolphins have live births. Therefore, dolphins produce milk. This example is actually valid. It is not a fallacy. Cows and dolphins are similar. They both have live births and are in fact both mammals. Yes, there are dissimilarities too. Dolphins are good swimmers, cows less so, but the dissimilarities are not relevant here. Whether they live in the sea or not has no bearing on whether they produce milk or not. On the other hand, the similarities between the two are relevant. Since both cows and dolphins are mammals, they should both produce milk. The final example concerns things that are yellow. The sun is hot and yellow. Bananas are yellow. Therefore, bananas are hot. Yes, both the sun and bananas are similar in color, but they have some important differences. The sun is a star and the banana is a fruit. The sun is hot because of a nuclear reaction taking place inside of it. Although bananas are slightly radioactive, the same nuclear reaction is not taking place inside it. The dissimilarities between bananas and the sun are not irrelevant, and so for this example, the conclusion is fallacious. So how should you deal with it? When you see an analogy used in an argument, ask yourself, what are the similarities and how relevant are they? What are the dissimilarities and how relevant are they? If it is too weak to support the conclusion, then you likely have a false analogy. Well, that concludes the video. Hopefully now you are better placed to spot this fallacy. There are many channels on YouTube that you find interesting and have subscribed to. You clearly find this channel interesting since you have got to the end of this video. Therefore, you should subscribe to this channel too.